Hi there, welcome to Life Unscripted with Coach Kanye. I am Coach Kanye, and today I want to talk to you about love bombing. We all talk about it, we're all confused about it, and some of us are just like, is that even a thing? I'm here to tell you that it is a thing. And as someone that experienced the thing, it is a thing. So welcome. Remember to subscribe and like so that we can grow this channel together and we can have some really important conversations together. I am sipping on my second cup of coffee, and can I tell you something? I'm doing this video for the second time, yo, because I did not press record the first time. And I was in the zone, and I don't know if I will be as in the zone, but I am going to give it my best shot because you deserve nothing less. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. It's starting to taste like it's been there for a while. So, what is love bombing? I want to first start by sharing a personal story with you where I met someone. I had ended a 5-year relationship. I went to Mexico to soothe my broken heart, and I was there for 3 months. And then I went back to the States, and then in the 4th month of being single, I met someone at a conference, and we started dating, and and for me, how it started, I was like, oh, this is nice, it's light, it's easy. She's in a non-monogamous relationship, which is what I was told at the time, and there was no real sense of commitment, right? I was like a side piece, and I had never been anyone's side piece before. I was like, oh, I'm someone's side piece. Then it starts to take a turn. The conversations are deeper, we're women, and so it's like we're really connecting. And then they end their relationship of 6 years with like such promises of like, I'm not ending this relationship for you. It needed to end. I'm ready for something else. It's not working. And they're listing all the issues that are happening in their relationship. And they are also promising that I'm not a rebound. They're like, you are definitely not a rebound. I know, and like that reassurance inside, because I know better. I know better. Inside, I'm like, I am though. But I allow it felt like an avalanche. We are talking about moving in together. We're talking about moving to a different country. It's feeling good and exciting. And I am like in the height of this good and exciting. And then, the ex-partner comes like, I want you back. And then out of nowhere, now we're talking about conversations around non-monogamy and being polyamorous together. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want that. I tried that in a few relationships before and it didn't work out. But I'm like, let's go. To cut a long story short, okay, there's a point to this. To cut a long story short, she gets back together with her ex. They move to the different country together, and I am just pining in my face, dealing with my anxieties and going through a breakup on top of another breakup. Which, pause, don't do that to yourself. Learn from your coach's mistakes and don't do that. Don't date newly single people. It's going to hurt you because they need to heal. And I remember thinking, what after it all ended? I was like, what just happened? Like, what actually just happened? And I started love bombing, and I was like, damn, I was love bombed into oblivion here. But I also want to say that I do think in part, very slight, tiny little part, the person doing the love bombing, some of them don't really know that they're love bombing you, and I'll get into why. And so a lot of the conversation around love bombing recently has been, is it a love bomb if you meet someone that you really like, that you really enjoy, and you can feel that connection, and you honestly want to move things quickly because your feelings are moving quickly? And my answer to that is no. No, it's not. My answer to that is you've met someone and you both agree consensually that you want to move this relationship as fast as it wants to move. And the intention is to be honest. The experience of the love bomb is when you know deep down that you are just doing things so that the person you're talking to will be interested in you. Which is one of the reasons when my clients are like, Coach, I want to start dating again, I beg them and I say to them, the best thing you can do for these first few dates is to not talk about your exes. Don't talk about what it is they did, what they didn't do, how they showed up, how they didn't show up, because you're giving that person information. You're giving them information that they can use to shape shift and become the thing that they think you want. So you tell them, oh, my ex never bought me flowers. And now all of a sudden, every week you're getting flowers. It's nice, right? It feels good to be getting flowers every week, especially when you've just ended a relationship where you are not, or we've been in situations before where you are not. And here's this person laying it on thick. But what happens at month 3? And this is where it takes a turn. If someone is authentically that way, it doesn't stop. But when they are not authentically that way, in a few months, it's going to stop. Because that's not who they are. And that's where the love bombing is. When you create a thing within you that doesn't exist to keep someone. It's like, oh, my ex never called to say goodnight. They call every night, boo-boo. Every night you're getting calls, you're getting texts. What happens after a few months? All of the things, they stop. And so the experience of a love bomb, what I can compare it to is when you're swimming and you're swimming in the ocean and you're swimming and out of nowhere there's a drop. And that drop is the love bombing. That thing that changes. When you met someone that was so sure about you, they knew you were the one, and then out of nowhere now they're a little bit uncertain. Now they're not even sure if they want to be in a relationship. Now it's all too much and it's all consuming. But when they started, it was like almost like they were fanning those flames of the too much. And now the too much that they created with you has suddenly become overwhelming. When they were 100% sure that you are the one, now they're like at 10%, I want to dip out. Because the relationship that you've created now has come with promises. I told you about my experience. Let's move in together. Let's move to a new country. Let me introduce you to my dog. And then you fall into that, and then it just gets taken away. That is the love bombing experience. And I want to end it with this. I had gone to a wine and conversation things in Maboneng a few months ago. And we're talking about relationships, and love bombing comes up. And then this guy, so when we're trying to explain, he's like, no, I'm just doing things to get a girl. And he says to me, for example, I drive a Toyota. When I go on the first 2 dates, I go to my friend who drives a BMW and I borrow his car. And then I say to him, that's fine, but do you tell the people that that's not your car? Then he says, no, I don't, because they won't date me otherwise. And then I'm like, then that is why it's a love bomb. Then that is why it's wrong now. Now you've entered a new territory. Because now you have to go and explain when you've already roped them in, showed them a life that doesn't exist, and then you're like, actually, I drive a Toyota. What if you can show up authentically and say, I drive a Toyota? What if that person is like, actually, I've dated people who've driven BMWs and Mercedes-Benz and I've ended up in so much pain. Maybe I want to date someone that drives a Corolla, but will be careful and safe with my heart. Maybe this will be a different relationship. Maybe I am looking for what you have to offer, even though what you have to offer you think is not enough for me. And so those are the conversations that we need to have. How do we show up authentically in relationships so that when there's nothing wrong with growing with someone. You can grow and create with someone, but what is the foundation of that relationship? And love bombing feels so painful because it messes with the foundation of the relationship. My name is Coach Kanye, and you have been listening to Unscripted with Coach Kanye. Remember to subscribe and if you are in Cape Town or around Cape Town, we are doing our Own Your Life seminar in Cape Town on April 11th, and I would love to see you there. I'm going to link everything in the description below so you can see where to get the tickets and what the experience is all about. I will see you next week.